Everybody's got a blank page, a story they're writing today, a wall that they're climbing. You can carry the past on your shoulders. You can start over.
Welcome to Battleground Believers, where we want to tell his story through your stories. Many engage in debates about the existence of God and seek empirical evidence, often questioning the validity of scriptures. However, a transformed life is undeniable. The most powerful way to share the gospel is through the Word of God and its impact on lives. So welcome to Battleground Believers, where we are dedicated to sharing his story through your stories.
I know you think there's no hope, but that ain't true. Jesus saved.
Hi, welcome to Battleground Believers. Welcome back. We're continuing a conversation with Chase. And again, we have Patty is in the studio as a guest host today. Again, I'm Brad Dunick. This is Matt Carter. And again, Chase Blackburn's with us today. And so welcome back. We want to continue to say thank you to Two Bar Blue Studios that allows us to use their facilities. And also like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. And exciting announcement. We're getting ready to upload to Spotify, Pandora, and every streaming service we can. So you will find us on multiple platforms, and we'll get some more information about that as we go along. So when we last left the conversation, we were talking to Chase, and he had made the statement that he was not necessarily a seeker, more like a cell phone tower waiting for a ping. Waiting for a ping. And which is cool. What I really appreciate about you is you're not closed off about it. You haven't necessarily formed an opinion, and every time we talk about faith and Christianity, you actually several times you have made statements that kind of made me stop myself and go, "Oh, I kind of didn't think about that," or you make me think sometimes, even though I'm a true believer. I believe Jesus Christ very much in Jesus, but the way your mind thinks sometimes it's very interesting, and so that's why we're excited about bringing you on. We don't want to just talk about faith like from one perspective. We want to see people who may not necessarily have faith and have those kind of conversations. But Patty had stated that she had a question for you, and she's your mom, so you have to answer.
Okay.
So we're going to fast forward a little bit to Felicity.
Okay.
So Misty has had amazing faith with her, right? Has taught her a lot of songs and dances and things like that. So there was a video posted the other day of Felicity and her ducks.
Yeah.
Tell me how you feel about that.
So, Felicity loves music and dancing and singing, and that's fantastic. And with, like I said, I completely, support my family and going to church and all that stuff. And, my wife has changed like the type of music that she listens to pretty much specifically, Christian music. Now, different genres, right? Because they do have good Christian music that's, some more hip hop, and they have, rock music. You had me listening to that stuff when I was a angry teenager, and I still enjoyed it, right? So there's a lot of, Christian songs that, Felicity knows and she sings. So the other day she has a duck collection. We have
85 ducks.
that was just what was sitting there. She has like over 130 something ducks.
Wow.
Right. So we found 84 of them, and she lined them all up to do a talent show. And during the talent show, a lot of the, ducks were doing singing, and she picked a bunch of, Christian songs that she decided she was going to have the ducks do, right? And I think it's a little bit different for me than my wife. Like, she started singing, these Christian songs for the talent show. And
Why don't you sing one of the songs she sang?
let me think.
I'm just kidding.
I can't even remember which song. I don't even know the song she was singing, actually. Like, I know some of them, but that one I didn't know. So it's probably one that she listens to with her mom when they're at the house.
bust out a few bars.
Yeah. My kid's favorite from going to VBX or whatever, their favorite one now is that church clap.
Oh, I know that one.
I have to put that song on in the car, in the van, and at home, and
hey, that one's not bad then.
it's not bad. It's good actually. It's got a nice beat and everything.
Church clap.
Church clap. It's good.
Slaps for no reason.
Did you say it slaps?
It's good.
No, yeah, it's pretty good.
You know what? I was reading the Bible the other day, and Jesus was talking about the Sermon on the Mount, and he's like, "This sermon slaps." Go ahead, please continue.
Yeah, but so like for my wife, like when she's singing her like worship, and we have like the little worship flag things, those little ribbons, and she loves those. So like sometimes she's old enough now that she can talk to the Google, and like she'll tell Google to play, whatever that song is and who the artist is. So like she'll just randomly be like, you know what, I feel like doing some worship, so she'll go down there and play some worship songs and twirl the little ribbons around, and my wife gets like super pumped about it, like, and that's super great, and I'm glad that I was able to help support how happy my wife is that my daughter is doing these things. But like for me, I just think it's cute that she's down there and she's singing a song and dancing, like whatever it is. If it's faith based, my wife is 4 times more excited about it than I am. It's still the same to me. It's just her singing a song, and it's cute, and I'm glad that she's enjoying herself singing and dancing. But then you add, the faith-based aspect of it. Then my wife, she's 4 times more as happy about it. We just started listening to Lenny Pierce. He does like that. He's like a toddler DJ, so like he'll take all the, kid songs, Itsy Bitsy Spider or whatever, and then put a little techno, whatever. They have these like whole like little kid raves.
What?
Oh yeah,
it's a baby rave.
Oh, it is so awesome. I saw a few videos, and then so I started playing the songs. I actually have a video on my phone. I'll show you guys after this. That like we were sitting in the living room, and one of those songs came on, and she started dancing, and I started flipping the lights on and off. Oh, I'm like, she's down there like dancing to Itsy or the Muffin Man, like.
I'm like scared to almost Google that though.
Oh.
Baby raves, like.
Yeah, right in the middle of the party. Everybody stop! We gotta change 47 diapers. Baby rave.
Yeah, they have one. It's November 9th in Chicago, and Felicity really wants to go to that, so me and her will probably go to that. But like for me, that's just
wait, like literally like a rave, but you got your little daughter there dancing to
Itsy Bitsy
Spider.
Yeah, if you're happy and you know it. Listen, and it's super easy to get behind because one, like I'm not a huge techno music person, but like just get you moving, jumping, and dancing around. Like it's super fun, and it gets them involved, and like that's super great. My wife's like, it'd be cool if they had a Christian version of this. I'm like, this is just cool. Can we just love this for a second? Like this is fun for both of us. We're doing something that we're both enjoying, and it's not bad songs. It's the same nursery rhymes they always listen to. They don't change them in a way that makes them negative. Just enjoy this.
Battleground Believer is going to put on the first baby Christian rave.
Hey, my wife would be 1,000% for that. All right.
I listen to mostly Christian rock music and worship music, so I don't know that.
So mosh pit, baby mosh pit.
Listen, be awesome. Shaking babies at each other. We do not condone violence, especially with babies. We just got canceled. This was fun while it lasted.
See, I told you this wouldn't be a good idea.
My wife says that to me about everything. That's what she said.
Yeah, but yeah. So like for me, it's just super cute, awesome thing that my kid does. The fact that it was a Christian song. I think.
That didn't affect you anyway.
Well, I think in the way that, I've changed through this whole process that, like previously, I'm like, that's kind of I would have thought, kind of a dumb song to put on a talent show. Why don't you like sing a song that's more interesting? But, where I'm at now, it's just another song. It's not like, oh, that's a crappy Christian music genre song, whatever. Right. Now it's just another song that I may know or may not know, right?
So do you attend church with your family, right?
Yeah. So usually, we have a weird setup now that since we're at the campground most weekends, so we don't make it back in time for like Sunday church. A few times we went to Damon's church, but
That's our church, Life Church.
That's a Damon's church.
well, whatever. Damon invited me.
You know, we go there too.
My brother invited me though.
We didn't invite him.
I invited Misty.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably a better way to go about it. But so we went to theirs a few times, but now we go to like Wednesday church, which I think I like better than Sunday church anyways, because our Wednesday is like actually like where I get a better understanding, and I think that's what I care more about than hearing the whatever message comes out on Sunday.
So you're more into like the Bible study, like you want to actually get into it, not just have something told to you. Right. Yeah. Because like, you know, like I said, Pastor Bell's awesome. He's a funny guy. He loves Chuck Norris, so that's cool too. But just like sitting there for like the mass group of people, and like nobody's like in our Wednesday, like they'll call you out to answer a question, right? Based on what we just watched or what we just talked about. Like, hey, give me your perception of this, right? So like, how are you viewing this? How's everybody else in that room viewing these things? Giving some like information. So is it more like a small group, or is it?
It's like, I don't know. I think there's like 20 people that are in there, and there's like some series that we'll go over, and then we'll watch a video, and then they have these questions that they'll ask afterwards, and they're just gonna call out what do you think this means, or where have you found this in your life, or like how can you what changes do you think you should make based on this information, whatever it is, right? So then we just get to kind of have a discussion about the information that we just got, right? And I think that's better for me, just because it's not, I don't know, a lot of times I feel like, when you're sitting there on Sunday, you just have a lot of like,
you're being preached at.
It's just it's a lecture, right? And I sucked at school, which is weird because I'm a teacher now, right? So, but I sucked at school. One of the things I didn't like was the one-sided conversation of a lecture, right? Lecture, they stand up there, they tell you a bunch of things. All right, cool. And then you move on, but like when you're interacting, you're having more of a discussion, right?
Yeah.
Then you have like some input, and then you can, if I'm sitting there thinking something while they're preaching or whatever, I'm thinking this, like, I don't know if I'm wrong or I'm right in my thinking, or if I should have a different perspective on it. When you're sitting there in like a Wednesday and you're talking to somebody, and then they're like, all right, cool, what's your perception? Well, that guy just took something that's a complete 180 than what I took from this. So like when they talk out loud, I'm like, okay, that doesn't seem right. That's not what I was thinking at all. And then, I'll say something, and then they'll kind of put the two together. And,
So what I typically do though, with like it's the Sunday thing, because I almost felt the same way. Like when I started getting back into church or whatever, it's like when I was in church my whole life, like I know all these stories, I know all these things that I'm getting preached at or whatever. So what I started doing is whatever the pastor's sermon was, like the whole next week, I was diving in and digging in deeper into it, just trying to figure out or whatever. And if I had a question, I wouldn't hesitate to go ask Pastor Stu. I'd walk up to him the next week and be like, last week you said this. Well, I read this. Like, what? That's how I do it. But I do like I think I've always thrived in like that Bible study more than the Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
Well, so here's my question for you. Is there anything in your mind, like, if this happens, I'll believe? Like, is there something that you're thinking, hey, Jesus needs to come talk to me, or I need to see that? Is there something that you think, like, I don't believe until I experience this or I see that? Is there something like that you're waiting on? What do you, and maybe you're not, is there something you're waiting on? Is there some kind of evidence that you're looking for? Or is there something out there that you think you're waiting for, like the burning bush moment, or the...
What's the one thing that's holding you up from believing, or is there multiple things?
I used to think that, all right, well, there will be something that, and then I would just be like, oh yeah, for sure. And then I switch over, my burning bush moment. But I've been away from that for a while because, I know how my brain's going to work. I'm going to try to rationalize whatever happens in whatever way that I can. So, I don't think there's like a moment that is something's just going to, pop up and then I'm going to be good. And I'm going to, fully believe. And I don't know that there's like one thing that, is stopping me from moving, bridging the fence, right? There's just a lot. There's just a lot that we don't understand about just the things that are here now. Like, as human beings, we're kind of dumb. Right.
It's true. It's just hard to hear out loud.
We've already established that. Remember last week or last episode? Like, yeah.
It's just hard to hear out loud.
There's a lot of things that we don't know yet about just life in general, and to say that we have a full understanding of how we got here from what we've deciphered from a book that we've changed our perception on about 100 times over, past history, right? Mm-hmm. We've changed how we perceive that based on information that, we've since proven to be true, right? We know that the sun revolves around, or the earth revolves around the sun, not the other way around.
I was going to say, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's stuff, but...
Well...
It keeps popping up on my Facebook. I mentioned it one time.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and I wish I was a better scholar with some of that stuff about the text, because actually the more they find, the more they realize that the text is real. But again, I can't, like, I watch guys on the internet that are talking about, like, they found this, and all I can do is say, hey, I was this way, and now I'm this way. And so hopefully at some point you see God gives you the moment, or that it comes along. And I personally believe it will, because I remember a time where you were like, F that.
Yeah.
And now you are not. And I remember I said something at your house, and you said, we don't talk like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, yes, sir, this is your house. But I was floored that you would even make that stand, that it would affect you that way, even if it was just standing up for your wife, that you would care enough about that. So, So really, again, we appreciate you coming on. We're going to kind of finish this last 15 minutes. I think he wants to ask you a couple fun questions. We kind of want to have some fun here with you. We kind of know where you stand. We think it's amazing. You as a human being, the way you're processing this and taking care of your family, super kudos to you, because some people are not like that. And that you're willing to stand by your wife and love your wife and your kids, even though faith in Christianity may not be your bag, baby.
I'm gonna throw out a kudos to my wife, because me doing it from this aspect, and she also has to kind of reverse that for our relationship to work, right? So she has to put in the work from her side as a Christian to kind of help push me forward, and it takes both of us to run this family. So she has to put up with me not being at the same level as her as much as I have to with her. So she has to adapt as well as I do to make this work.
Well, I think we're planning on having her on.
Yeah, we can have her on. She's gonna throw you under the bus.
She's a little bit.
No, but I think that it
awesome.
is amazing that you guys are able to do that and it not ruin your marriage, because there's a lot of people, that it does ruin their marriage if one person is here and one.
Why are you pointing at me?
When he brought it up and he told me, I was like, what? I was like, so he doesn't believe at all. And he's like, no. And I said, but she's big. Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah. And then when I found out he goes to the church, I was like, what?
So like one of those things that I think, that I have a problem with some of the only Sunday people is when they just listen to whatever's being told. So like I remember one time when I was younger, they started talking about, like, you know, you have to be equally yoked, right? And, like, when they talk about, you know, you guys know what the yoke is, right? For the cattle, right? Yep. Well, the two cattle that were yoked together weren't of the same strength, right? They would take, like, the young wild bull, and then they would take, like, the old bull that's seasoned and knows what he's supposed to do, and they would put them together, right? So, you know, in accordance with how that is supposed to work, that's where me and my wife are. But you don't take equally yoked, because you guys have to be in the same spot to be able to be married. Like, that doesn't make any sense. If you're not doing any work in your marriage, like, what are you doing? Just living together?
Well, you keep bringing up these weekend warriors, as you refer to them, that only go to church on Sunday. But the reality is, like, don't listen to those guys. Like, if I have a problem with my car, I don't go to the guy at Walmart that's changing the tires and ask him deep technical issues.
Some people do.
And that's well, I know, but I'm saying that's kind of, you're kind of looking at those people and going, these people make me mad. Well, duh, they're not. That the same thing would be like me going to Walmart and saying, hey, I know you guys change tires, but my catalytic converter has a problem. And then they try to tell me about it. Yeah. Where I should be going, where you, like you need to do, where you're going to people that have faith and understanding of the Bible, that are doing it in love. Like, they want to have the conversation and not just go, read Psalms 119. Here's some holy water. You know what I mean? Like, if I have a problem with my car, I come to you, because why? You're, one, a mechanic, and two, you teach it now. So that's, I just say, hey, when you got people that are, because a lot of people say a lot of things, and sometimes you just look at them and you're like, oh, thank you so much. In your head, you're going, yeah, you're a total moron. And just keep that in perspective, where the message is coming from and who they're coming from. And if you can see it in their lives, that they're not really living a faith-based daily walk, then...
Yeah, and that's, I think, you know, that's one of the things that's, like, frustrating the more that I learn, you know, is that, you know, the people that aren't living it but are still, like, giving their opinion makes it more difficult for, like, the other people that are trying to understand. Like, if I can only go off of the things that I'm, you know, learning a couple days a week, whatever, if I can only go off the things that I'm learning in the situation that I'm in, and then I have a, you know, visual comparison of, like, how this person's living their life and how this person's living their life, and they're completely different, like, yeah, everybody's just gonna, your actions are showing a mixed message to, like, whatever your faith is. So if you believe, like, start following, right?
And I think that's why Battleground Believers, when we talk about it, we talk about reading our Bible and praying daily. We try not to look at people. We try to look at the examples that are given in the Bible, and then that's kind of where we guide. Because if I look at other people and say, well, this guy acts this way, this guy, then I'm so caught up in what they're doing that I'm not looking at the authentic example. So I know that we're going to be winding down here in the next 10 minutes, but I know that we wanted to ask you, we want to have a little fun here.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question.
So you said you read the whole Bible. So out of the whole Bible and all the characters that are in there, if you could be one of them, who would it be and why?
I'm gonna go with Noah.
Noah?
Why? Because he had a cool beard?
Yes. No, so at that point, you're able to witness things that are, you know, God decided, like, this is too much. You know, we need to clean this out. You're gonna take your family, and you're gonna take, you know, all the animals and maybe some dinosaurs.
I know why. Because he wants to know what the dinosaurs are.
I want to know if there were question.
You seen Jurassic World?
If I could just be, I would know what the dinosaurs are on there.
That's not what I was expecting.
You know, you found a limit, right? So, like, God said, hey, this is my limit. You're going to take your family. We're going to clean slate this bad boy, and then you're going to start off. So you know what not to exceed, and then you get to build what's next, right? Mm-hmm. So it's going to be you and your family, and you have a pretty clear guideline of what not to do, and you should be able to start from here, and you get to decide what happens, like, moving forward.
Holy cow, that's
and yet humans still messed it up.
Yeah. I mean, over time, there's, social impact theory says that, over time, the messages and the things that you say that has to happen will inevitably kind of fade out because you don't have that connection with that timeline, right?
I would have never guessed that in a thousand, or that logic of thinking would be why
who'd you think he was going to pick?
Not Noah. Who'd you pick? No. Although he has great hair. Who would you pick?
I honestly don't know. I'd have to think about it. I'm the one asking the questions here.
I think David. Because it says that David was considered a friend of God's.
Yeah. I still would have picked a better weapon than
He was a kid fighting a giant. It's like Felicity and I going at it.
Listen, there are so many dead people laying around. Somebody could have picked up a sword. Give the kid a sword. Felicity would have picked up a sword.
I couldn't hold it.
Yeah, they did. Remember they...
Hulk hands.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Felicity would have picked up some Hulk hands.
I don't know. I mean, Paul wrote most of the New Testament. I mean, there's some guys.
There's some...
Man, I don't know.
There's controversy over that anyways, the whole story between the two different places you find it in the Bible.
Find what?
Whether it was David that killed Goliath or it was I can't remember the name. I don't know, it's somewhere in there because it's in two different books and obviously your authors are different or whatever. It's just it's a translation is what it is, but
I never heard that.
Yeah, look it up.
Are you one of them weekend warriors we've been talking about?
No, look it up. Look it up.
I will look it up.
I can't think of what 2 books it is yet, but there's like controversy over it.
So do you have a Bible? Like it's yours?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. And I have one on my phone because it's 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have my study Bible that my mom passed down to me, and then it's a military study Bible.
And
I have my phone.
I have a little daily devotional book too that sits on the back of my toilet. Haven't made it through that yet. My wife got it for me a couple years ago.
You read it?
It's supposed to be read in 1 year.
Okay, I thought you meant you were going through it. I was like, because
no, I did.
Your brother that invited you to church started.
We know you sit on that thing enough.
I was about to say I did. I think I made it through about 4 months consistently, and it was fine. And I don't. Here's the thing, it's only a very short, passage to read, but I read it and I'm like, why? And it's because my wife asked me to, but at the same time, yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, at some point, if you ever
do we ever really want to do it? No.
Yeah, at some point when if you end up having a relationship, it will change it.
Yeah,
right. It will change all of that. Like you had said to me at the house, we were having breakfast when we tried to shoot this the first time, and the equipment went crazy. You said, if you really believe what you believe, you people want to be the way they are.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of floored me. And so I thought about that ever since we had that conversation, because you're an outsider looking in and you're like, hey, if you really believe the stories you guys talk about and you're really faithful, that you'd be a different person than you guys are. And it was kind of convicting.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't, right? Which I understand that we're all people and nobody's gonna be perfect or whatever, but my big thing with this, if I'm like, you know what, I believe this stuff and this is something that I need to pursue. It's just like anything else that I do in my life. Like if I step down from a leadership position in the school that I work in because I only wanted to focus on what I cared about and what I was passionate about and I believe, right? Mm-hmm. So if I give all my students 110% of my efforts to get them to understand what they're doing and be the best technicians that I can potentially produce, I'm putting 110% effort even into the kid that only showed up 2 days last week. I don't care. I'm giving you, pumping everything into you that I can, because
You're
this
passionate.
This is what I know that this is going to have an effect on their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like if I believe all of this, like how are some people that believe not doing more? Like how are you living the same type of life, or maybe a life that doesn't follow as closely as what mine does, even though that I'm not a believer? Like how are you not doing more if this is what you believe? If you say, hey, I absolutely believe this, you're putting and you're not putting in the effort to read your Bible or understand the things that these people are telling you, or you're not checking and you're not participating in the community of your church, right? Like if you're a believer and you're not doing those things, how do you believe all that and the outcomes, and that God's out there? Like how are you not following if you believe? Like you're choosing not to at that point.
Well, man, that's
convicting.
That's super convicting.
Yeah.
So that we're gonna end it here, and the one guy in the room that doesn't believe in Jesus actually preached a better message than we preached the whole time.
Do you not believe in Jesus? You believe Jesus was, I think you talked about that before. You believe Jesus existed.
Sure, yeah.
He was like just some cool dude that walked around with sandals.
No, I'm just kidding. There was probably a person, and he was big in the community of what everybody, but I don't know that I don't know that the miracles happened. I know that they were written about. I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know that there's a God, right? So all this stuff that made, Jesus this miracle person, I don't know that exists if I don't know that the beginning exists, right? So without knowing that there's a God, then I can't know that there's a Jesus.
So you just think all this happened by coincidence then, or?
No, nothing's really much of a coincidence. Like there's things that build up to things. I just don't think we have the full picture. So whatever we're painting for ourselves based on, what limited information that we have or what our limited understanding is, I'm going to say that it's probably wrong because we don't understand enough yet to get, a full picture. So we can go by, what we think is correct and do our best and then see what happens in the end. Or I can just live my life and do what I think is right. And then maybe one day somebody will figure it out. And then maybe we'll be right about a lot of things, but I know that we're going to be wrong about a lot of things too, because we are.
I think that as we wrap up here, I think that there'll be more conversations about faith and Christianity in your life. And I think the way you approach it, I believe God's working, and he's the kind of God that works in our system, right? And he knows he created you. It says he knit you together in her womb, right? That's your mother. But at some point, he's going to move in your life, right? And it may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. Or maybe.
Maybe happening right now.
Yeah,
it'll be that ping.
Yeah, it'll be that ping. Yeah, at some point something might click and change, and but in the meantime, the fact that you're open to it, and again, as we wind down today, we want to say thank you so much for being willing to come in and have these conversations and just have some fun with us and to be a guest on the show and supporting us. And thank you, Patty. We're trying to get a few female voices in here and kind of.
Should I talk in a higher pitch?
No. I already have apparently I have.
He's got that covered.
I got a high pitched voice, so it's a glandular problem. So if you make fun of me, it's a hate crime. But as we wind down again for like the fourth time, we want to say thank you for joining us at Battleground Believers. Like, share, subscribe. It helps the channel. There's more information coming where you can find us on other platforms. We got a Patreon account we're starting if you want to help support us financially, and there'll be some stuff on there as well. Again, we want to thank you for spending time with us each week. We have new episodes every Monday at 7 a.m. And again, a big shout out to Randy Barr, our producer, and 2 Bar Blues. There's an S either on the bar or the blues studio. And one day I will get this right. And again, it says that all that call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at some point. And after we close out, we're going to throw a whole bunch of holy water on him. Just kidding. Remember, we like to tell his story through your story. Have a great day.
Before I took a breath, you breathe your life in me. You have been so kind.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Battleground Believers. We hope that the stories shared have touched your heart or made a positive impact in your life. We created this podcast to fulfill the Great Commission, as outlined in Matthew 28 verses 18 to 20, where Jesus said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." Thank you for joining us at Battleground Believers. Remember, the best way to share the gospel and the story is through your story. Have a great day.